You made the video. Hey Jen, you too. Hope you're doing well. Hi Ann. Hi Renee. Good to see all my Stampin' peeps. We will wait another minute and we will get started. Like to be prompt. If you're coming on, please sign in and then get to see who's with us tonight. Hey Mary, I know. It's this weekend. I am really nervous. I think Pitt might win, but hey, I'm going to root for Clemson the whole time. Hey Deb. Hello. Got a fun little project tonight you're going to like. Alrighty, let's get started. Hello everyone and welcome. Tonight is Tuesday night with the Wexford Stamper. I am Barb Reed, the Wexford Stamper. I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and I am excited about tonight's project. I was looking online, saw some really cute projects and kind of put my own twist on it, and I came up with this cute little squatty pumpkin. Let me show you a picture I took earlier today. I know, Kenny Pickett. I know, Mary. I've been thinking about him. He's actually on the Heisman watch list. So yeah, he's playing great. So we'll see. All right, and here is a picture of the little pumpkin that I'm making this evening. This is the sample one. Just gives you a better shot that it's not straight down. It's hard to see, but really fun to make. You can make bunches of these and make a little home decor arrangement. It's just really easy. And let me go ahead and share with you the products that I've used here. There aren't that many to talk about, really. All that I really used here is paper. And the paper that I used here is called the Harvest Meadow DSP. And that is in our new catalog. And you don't have to use this paper. Whatever paper you have at your house would be perfect as well. Whatever kind of color palette you're looking for. But this is the paper that I have here in my craft room from the fall collections in the catalog. So I went with that. So that's what I'm going to be using. The only other thing, you're going to need a few pieces of cardstock, and you're going to need some brads. And I'll talk a little bit about those when we get to that point in the tutorial. All right, well, let's go ahead and get started. Let me take my ruler here and let you know about what we have here. This is about 5 inches in diameter, and it's kind of a squatty pumpkin, so it's only maybe 3 to 4 inches tall. So it's a nice squatty one, and really cute, so easy to make. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so what you're going to need is you're going to need your paper. And you're going to need 12 strips of the paper. Okay, now the way I chose to divide it out was 3 pieces of 4 different designs. So let me go out here. These are the designs that I picked, these 4 here. So I have 3 pieces of each color. And they are 1 by 7. I think I forgot to tell you that. That's not good. 1x7 is the size of the strips that I'm going to be using of the designer series paper. Now, I have not tried to make them with larger strips or smaller strips. If I do, I will let you know. But I just found this to be a really nice size to make a little pumpkin decor piece with. All right, so you're going to have 12 pieces total. Okay, so first thing you're going to do is you're going to put your little holes in your paper strips, because you're going to need to have holes to put your little brads through. And the way I did that is you want to put a hole at the end of each strip, both ends. And what I did is I made a little template here. This is just a piece of cardstock cut at 1x7. And I'm just gonna, I took the 3 pieces of the one color here, and I just laid this on top. And then I took my pick tool with the stabby end, and I just went through the hole and stabbed through all 3 pieces of the paper. And I have my little cushion here. So then I have my holes on both ends, and then I can bring in another stack. The reason you want to do this rather than kind of eyeballing every single strip is you're going to get a more uniform pumpkin if all the strips are connecting to the brad at about the same spot. So you just use your pierce mat and you can pierce through all of the strips. Okay, so here we go, our third color. I love the colors in this. Such pretty. You don't really think that they are real, the blues are the fall colors, but they really go together nicely with the other colors in the paper. This is in the moonlight, misty moonlight, and then we have here the pool party as well. And they go pretty well with the other colors. I like it. All right, so let's go ahead. This is the last stack. Gonna put my holes in. Okay. Now, what we're gonna do now is we're going to divide them into a stack that has one of each color, and we're gonna go through and put one of each. So we have first this one, then I'm going to put the yellow, then I'm going to put the blue, then I'm going to put the orange. Okay, so I want to do the same sequence every time. So yellow is second, so we're going to go this blue, this yellow, this, and this. So we're going through and using the, going on making the same sequence, just so when we pull out our pumpkin, the sequence will be nice around the pumpkins. There. So now I've put them into the order so that we have them spread out evenly, each color spread out evenly throughout the pumpkin. All right, now what I'm going to do next is I am going to put a brad through these strips. Now, what is a brad, you may ask? And these are not these are not brads that are current. These are antique brads, but you can just kind of dig through your stash you have at home, and you can find any kind of brad is going to work. Doesn't matter the color, doesn't matter the shape, because they're going to be all covered up. Okay, now, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to turn the stack over so that the colors that you want are facing downward. Okay, then we're going to take one of the brads and we're going to poke through all the pieces. Okay, remember they're face down. So the colors that I want are facing down toward my tabletop here. And I have 12 of them. So I'm going to just keep on putting them through till all 12 are on. And remember that 12 pieces of cardstock are pretty thin, so we really don't have to worry about the brad being too short. Okay, so we just have 2 more to go through here. So I'm just going around and picking up each piece, making sure that the pattern that I want is facing down toward the tabletop. Then I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to loosely close the brad. Okay? Then I'm going to turn it back over to the side that shows the beautiful colors that I want. Then we're going to start spreading them out. And what I'm going to form here, making sure to keep it that the colors are all staying in their sequences. Let me see. We started with this, yellow, that, yellow, blue, this, that, yellow, blue. All right, here we go. Make sure that's all of them. Yep. Okay, so now what you want to do is you want to kind of spread them out. Okay, you're going to notice that you have kind of a plus sign here. And then you have 2 strips in between each plus. Okay, so look at my plus sign here. We got here and here. And then I've got 2 strips in between each plus sign. So you want to spread them out so that they're pretty evenly spread, just like that. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and push down onto that brad to try to keep these little pieces as close to staying there as I can. All right, now I'm going to turn it back over again. And now we're going to start bringing them up and putting them together to make our pumpkin. It doesn't matter where you start. Remember, our paper is placed so that the colors that we want are facing back down against the tabletop. All right, so just start anywhere. You're going to bring one up and you're going to put the brad like that into the first one. Okay? Then you're going to just bring up the second one and just move around, and this is going to go under the first one. Okay, here comes the third. That goes on the brad under the second one. Let's see here. There we go. Next, on the brad under the third one. You can already see how it's coming together here, and we have a quarter of a pumpkin already. Okay, and all you do is you keep going, trying to keep the strips as close as you can to where we had them placed, although you'll have plenty of time and there's plenty of give that you can move them around if you need to. Okay, there's half of our pumpkin done. Okay, now here we go. Let's finish up. Now it does get a little harder to keep your fingers in there as we get closer to the end of making our pumpkin. But you can just kind of pull the strips apart so that you can keep your fingers in there, and then to finally when you have to close the brad. Everybody following me so far? So you're just going to go around and continue to put it underneath. There goes the last one. Okay, and now I'm going to take my fingers here. You can pull apart those last 2 strips and just go in there and pull apart your brad if he's going to behave. Come on, Brad. He's not going to. There we go. Okay, there we go. If you can see in there, I've closed the brad in there. Everybody see that? All right, now I'm going to turn it back over and I'm going to kind of pull it apart. Okay, and as you pull it apart, you'll notice that the pumpkin will kind of start getting a little squatty, and that's okay. And you'll want to just make sure that your strips are about equally spaced from each other. Okay, that's pretty good. There we go. All right, I can play with it all day, but all right, there we go. So there's our little pumpkin. Pretty easy, huh? All right, now let me show you how we're going to make the top of our pumpkin. Okay. We have a few items here that we need to use. We're first going to use a couple of leaves. Now the leaves that I die cut here in crumb cake are cut out using the Forever Flourishing. All right, but you go back, look in your dies, find anything that looks like a leaf, it'll work. Okay, I went with the crumb cake because the leaves on the top of a pumpkin are usually kind of dry. And then what I did is I took the leaf and I just kind of crumbled it up. And then I opened it back up just to give it a more of a dried up and old and ready to fall off kind of a look. So there's the one leaf. Same with the other. Just crumble it up in your fingers. And then open it back up. And then you got perfect looking dry old pumpkin leaves. All right, so there's those. Okay, the next thing you're going to need is another piece of cardstock in crumb cake. This is cut at 1 1/4 by 1 1/2. I'm 1 3/4. 1 1/4 by 1 3/4. And don't worry, all these dimensions will be on my blog. And on the short side, the 1 1/4 side, I scored every 1/4 inch. I think you can see that there. Every 1/4 inch I scored here. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm going to fold up each of these score lines. And what I'm really making is kind of like a square tube. I know it sounds strange, but hang with me here, girls. All right, so what I'm going to do is just fold around, and then the last panel here is going to fold over the first panel and just make like a square tube. Okay, so let me get my glue. This is what we're going to use for our stem. Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit of glue here on the last panel and then fold it around so that it looks like a stem. And that one's not going to work because we're on live TV. All right. There we go. Thank you, Tombo. Okay, so I'm going to fold it around. And then that's going to fold over the final panel there. I'm just going to hold that till it nice and strong there. Okay, so I have my little tube that I made. Okay, now I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut up on the bottom part of the tube, either end, doesn't matter. And I'm going to cut up about 1/2 inch on each one of these folds. 1/2 inch. Okay, then I'm going to fold these back like that. Okay. And then the last thing I'm going to do is, I think this stem's a little too high. What I'd like to do is kind of cut it at an angle. Okay, so then that will be the height of the stem. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and glue it right onto the top of my pumpkin. Okay. And all I'm going to do here is I'm going to put a little bit of glue on each of those little flaps that I made. I'm going to put my hand underneath, and then I'm going to glue it right on top of my brad. Okay. Sticking to my fingers. All right. Now, oops, pull that out again. That is not staying on there very well. Let me hit it with the glue more. Okay, try that again. Get 2 fingers in there. And depending on the size of your brad, will depend how long you want to leave these little things that are hanging and attaching to the pumpkin. There we go. All right, so let's leave it. And now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put on our little leaves. Okay, and all I'm going to do here is put a little bit on the underside and glue that to the other, like that. And then I'm going to glue underneath. And then that is going to go right on against the stem. I'm going to cut away those 2 little stems on my leaves. And then I'm going to glue this right here along the edge. Hold it just a little bit. All right, you may have to go back and shush a little bit just to make sure that you have all of your strips. There we go. That's looking pretty good. All right, last thing. Let me bring it into the picture here. Sorry about that. You're gonna have a couple of pieces of your designer series paper cut in 1/4-inch strips. Okay, so I just cut 2 pieces of the designer series paper in 1/4-inch strips. And what I'm going to do is going to make the little vines. Okay, see how that goes there? These are way too long, but I like to just cut them, and then once they're curled a little bit, I can decide how long I want them. But you're going to kind of curl them the way you curl ribbon. You're going to take your scissors, and I'm going to take the blue one, and I'm just going to carefully curl a couple of times. Okay, then I'm just going to take my fingers a little bit and curl. And now I'm going to cut off a bit. Okay, so here's one of the little vines. We'll put that on in a minute. Now let's take the other one. Same thing. I'm going to start from the middle and curl out. Okay. All right. And I'm going to cut that off right here. All right, so now we're going to attach those here, and the way we're going to do it is we're going to put a little bit of glue here, and then we're going to slide it under the strip. All right, so let me show you how that's done. Little dot there. I'm just going to come up here under the strip. And once the pumpkin sits a little bit, the vine will relax a little bit and it won't be quite so tight. But there's the first. Whoops, woo! And let me put on the second one. Remember, you're going to put the glue on the top side. And then you're just going to tuck it under. And there you have your cute little vines. All right, so there is the pumpkin. It's hard to show here because I'm afraid to hold it this way so you can see it. It might fall apart since it's not glued completely, but I think you get the idea. So simple. You can make lots and lots of these. They'd be so cute to put as little place cards for like a Thanksgiving dinner. You could put someone's name on the leaf of the pumpkin or so that would be really, really super cute. But they're real quick to make and you don't use hardly any paper at all. So you could make tons of these with your extra strips. Okay, so give that a try. See if you can make a few of these cute little paper pumpkins and make sure that you post them in the VIP section and let me know what colors you used. And maybe try it. You could try it with just plain cardstock, although that is a little more thick and it might not curve quite as nice as you want. If you want a squatty pumpkin, it's probably good to use the DSP. So thanks a lot for joining me. I will be heading away this weekend. On Friday through Sunday, I will be in Pittsburgh for a football game. I can't wait. And I will hopefully catch up with Mary B there, even though she is cheering for the wrong team. But I will be back on Tuesday of next week with a Christmas project, if you can believe it. Yes, ma'am, it's time for Christmas projects. That is true. That's a great idea, Renee. You could get some red paper and make an apple. See? This is why I do this. You guys give me all the ideas I need. Great idea, Renee. So yeah, let me see what you guys come up with. That would be great. I'll see you back next Tuesday for the start of some great Christmas ideas. So come on back. Remember, you can get all the information that you need on my blog. That is at www.thewexfordstamper.blogspot.com. This video will be on that blog, as will a PDF that you can download. So check it out, and I hope to see you again real soon. Have a great week, ladies. Keep stamping.